A weather station with remote monitor? Let's have a look. Dave Taylor here, and man, it's crazy cold outside. How cold is it? I'm glad you asked, because I'm looking at this. This is the Smartro SC62 weather station with remote sensor. Let's switch and I'll show you what the remote sensor looks like. Yes, pink duct tape. Awesome, right? So the remote sensor is basically taped in a shaded area outside, and then this is reading the signal, requires some batteries, and it can tell us that, let's see, it is a toasty 18 degrees outside. Luckily, inside, I am by the window, so it's a little colder. It's 63 degrees. If I had to choose, I'd rather be in 63-degree weather than in 18-degree weather. But you can see, really cool device here. So basically, this can give you barometric pressure. It analyzes the last 12 hours of barometric readings, so it gives you a forecast. That's what's going on over here. And then it also gives you indoor-outdoor temperature and humidity. So indoor temperature and 28% humidity, pretty typical for Colorado. Outside is 18 degrees and a much more pleasant 47% humidity because it's kind of snowing back and forth. The wireless monitor, you can have up to 3 wireless monitors hooked up. They work on different channels, and then you can step between the channels on this. So you could have one outside, you could have one in the garage or the basement, you could have one in the baby's room and say, is the baby's room getting colder or is it too hot? So it actually can sense from -7 degrees Fahrenheit, I hope it doesn't get that cold tonight, up to 126 degrees. And I'm pretty sure in the summer we never hit that temperature, but maybe you do. Now, also has a dual alarm, has moon phase, you can see that maybe down here. And gives you time, has calendar, and then most importantly is if you have it plugged in, as I do, and the wire is included, the wall plug is included, if you keep it plugged in, it's on all the time. If you don't have it plugged in and you have batteries, which will be important, then what happens is it stays on for about 10 seconds and then the screen just goes dark. Anytime you want to have it wake up to tell you the data, you just touch the top and it gives you 10 seconds or so of all the information. It's still collecting data, it's just not showing it. And then it'll go dark. There we go. Now, easy enough. The thing is that there is no dimming feature here. I really wish there was a way to go like maybe step down brightness, because this would be a nice thing to have in the bedroom, but it is way bright if it's plugged in. And if it's not plugged in, then you have to go and touch it to actually get all the data that you want. That might include something like, what time is it, right? So a little bit of a functionality design issue there, but might depend where you put it. I've been having this in my bedroom without being plugged in. And I figured that, as I walk past, I touch the top and I can do a quick check on temperature, humidity, forecast, all that sort of stuff. Super easy. Now, of course, you can check all that on your phone, but hey, weather stations are cool. This is your actual weather. This is actually what's going on for you. Now, along the front is a touch-sensitive panel, and they say it's a touch screen, but it's not really, because the screen part is just a display. The touch part is along the bottom. And here's a close-up. You can see that the functionality it gives you is, let's turn it on, is it gives you the ability to adjust the clock. You can set alarms, you can change or check the temperature, you can switch between remote monitors, you can display maximum or minimum temperatures. So if you have like a really cold snap coming through and you're wondering, well, when was and what was the coldest temperature, you can just look at your minimum temperature there. Finally, you can switch between Celsius and Fahrenheit, and you can also increment up or down if you're doing a setting. That's it. No other buttons, nothing on the back other than the batteries and the remote monitor. In fact, hang on a second, I'm gonna go grab that remote monitor. Oh my gosh, it is cold out there. 19 degrees is not a warm temperature. Now, one of the cool things about the wireless sensor, let me get that pink duct tape off. Pink duct tape, awesome, right? So let me get that off, and it actually has a display on it. So it's showing me the temperature and the humidity right there on the remote monitor. I've never seen that before. Most remote monitors are completely without any sort of display. This is showing that it's now at 22 degrees with 53% humidity. So it's starting to warm up. If I hold it in my hands, it will warm up more quickly. And then if we look on here, see now it's showing it's 22 degrees. So as I brought it into the house, it's warming up a little bit. You can see it's not huge. It does have the ability for you to mount it on a screw. And the reason I said earlier about having it in the shade is that you don't want it in direct sunlight because it's going to just mess up the readings, because as you know, if you've been in a car, direct sunlight is hotter than in the shade. So to get a more accurate reading, keep it out of direct sun. I just duct taped it to the wall because it's just as easy, but probably a screw would be slightly smarter and perhaps more appropriate. This takes 2 AA's, not included. And then this takes 2 AA's, also not included. And if you're curious, the stand folds in and you also have a mount, so you can do it as a wall mount, or you can actually just pop the stand out and have it just sitting like that. So either way, it's working fine, and we're still at 22 degrees. No, now it's at 26 degrees, so that'll adjust momentarily. It's a constant communication. It's actually a pretty simple device. You know, are there some things I would tweak? Yeah, I would really, the most important thing that I would really like to see changed on this is I would really like to see some sort of a dimmer. I would like to be able to have it plugged in so it's always on, but ideally have like a light sensor, and it would say, oh, the room is dark, I better go way down and be super dim, but now it's daytime, I'm going to become nice and bright again. Now, those sort of photo sensors are not very expensive any day, you know, at this point. So honestly, it would be probably like a 17-cent increment in the cost of the product, and it would make it way more functional. Other than that, this is a really cool device. It might be a perfectly good thing to have plugged in and sitting on your desk, for example. And then at any point you can check what's the weather, you know, what am I getting into? I remember years ago working at a company where I walked into work one morning and it was a beautiful day, and I was very surprised when I left at the end of the day and there were 4 inches of snow on my car. That wouldn't have been a surprise if I would have had something like this, because then I could have looked at the weather. Let's see. And now it's up to 32 degrees, so that's good. So my house is above freezing. Meanwhile, this sensor is also saying 32. So, you know, that's the whole deal. Put this somewhere where you want to know what the temperature and humidity are, and then you can put this anywhere within a reasonable distance, and it's going to work great. So, before I get to the price, let me ask if you can subscribe to my channel. Really appreciate it, and it's seriously 1 click or 1 tap away. Just do it. Thank you. Nice. Okay, this, let's turn it on one more time. This is the Smartro SC62 weather station, and it's $39.99 at Amazon.com. Comes with one of these, but if you want to get a second one because you want to have 2 temperature gauges, or temperature monitors I should say, these are a very modest $12.99 each. I suppose you could get one and just use it by itself with its tiny little temperature and humidity display. Not sure that's really its intended purpose. I would really rather have this personally. It's up to you. In any case, check it out. I'm gonna go put the sensor back outside because it's supposed to get down to single digits tonight, and I will be able to tell. And with that, I will catch you, I hope, in my next video.